What could possibly be happening in that jury room? I mean, look, I'm convinced. I didn't sit through all the trial, of course, but it seems obvious. Now, I'm hearing rumors, who knows, but are the jurors worried that if they come back with not guilty in the Rittenhouse case, that all hell would break loose? I could see them being concerned about that. We are seeing little bits and pieces of what they're thinking. We get notes from the jury every now and then wanting to look at this piece of evidence or that piece of evidence. But still, this is not over. Now, regarding riots, I have a theory that we're not going to see what we saw last year if Rittenhouse is found not guilty. It'll be much smaller. Yeah, there are going to be some angry people out there, but it won't be on the scale of August of 2020. A couple of things. Number one, it's cold. It's cold in Kenosha, Wisconsin right now. What else? People had a lot of fun rioting and breaking things last summer. Some of them, a lot of them, hopefully got it out of their system. Who knows? And here's a theory of mine. During COVID, so many people, they could not fill their timeline on Facebook or Instagram with images of what they were doing. They were able to do that when they started rioting, taking pictures. Hey, look at us, peacefully protesting, whatever. Anyway, I don't anticipate it. I sure hope I'm right. We'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, MSNBC, their coverage has been so stilted, and now they are accused of attempting to photograph jurors. That's tantamount to jury tampering, possibly, and MSNBC has been banned from the courtroom. Here's the judge.
I have instructed that no one from MSNBC News will be permitted in this building for the duration of this trial. This is a very serious matter.
Wow, that's quite a rebuke and serious misconduct potentially from MSNBC and so much of the mainstream media who have been portraying, quite frankly, anybody who's white as a bad guy.
We must not be cowed by the terror unleashed by white men drowning in the deep end of racism, xenophobia, and misogyny.
Oh, the fragility of white men. It is delicious, is it not?
He's just a white guy. He doesn't matter.
You don't get to mansplain right now, Mark.
And I'm the white guy in the panel to say that, so I'll shut up now.
We have stood by to see mediocre, mealy-mouthed, snowflake white men who are incapable of taking critique.
Hey, I'll take a critique about anything, Professor Eric, somebody. Sure, but not on something I can't control, which is the color of my skin. Nobody likes that, no matter what color you are. But the left, they think it's open season on white people, that it is okay to be overtly racist as long as your hatred is directed at white folk. Take Joy Reid last night. You heard what she said. We played it on this show. She, by far, is not the only one. No, so many on the left. Saw a very disturbing article in the New York Times by a guy named Charles Blow. This, again, amounts to, in my opinion, overt racism. He's talking about three cases that are dominating the news. We've got Ahmaud Arbery, we've got January 6th, and we've got Rittenhouse. And his story goes like this. White men on trial. All right, white men on trial. Well, all right, so far, let's see. Inside, yeah, it gets creepy and weird. He puts it this way. There is a virtual pageant of privilege as the country waits to see if our system of justice will deal as severely and unsparingly with these men as it has with others who were not white men. It goes on. They involve white vigilantes who stalked and killed a black man and a young man who killed two people at a protest that was in solidarity with Black Lives Matter, a riot. They involve white men who sought to overturn a fair election in which people of color secured a victory for Biden over a white nationalist president and a white man who defied Congress to protect those white nationalists. Wow. It is only because they were born in a country that gives white men passes others don't get that they were able to scoff at the rules without thinking that they would face any repercussions. What a twisted and warped view he has of this country. As a white person, and I can't control that, I'm starting to feel a little bit sensitive, though, all right? And perhaps Mr. Blow knows how it feels to be singled out about something you can't control, the color of his skin. Right now, white people are being unfairly portrayed. And so, about 10 years ago, we're black people.
How come whenever I'm out here, though, I turn on the 11 o'clock news and, I hear, tonight in South Central, drive-by shooting, or tonight in South Central, this, that, or whatever. I mean, they're not making that up, are they?
No, they're not making it up, but they're choosing what they're covering.
Now, the suspect is a black male in his 20s. We are told he has a large afro, sideburns. He was wearing a silver chain at the time.
Police say the suspect is a black man, 6'1", 160 to 180 pounds, about 35 years in age.
Suspect is a black male, aged 16 to 18.
The suspect is African-American. Police
say
the black man.
Local news doesn't talk like that anymore, all right? People were very, very sensitive. So now, what do? They talk about white people in the most negative way possible. And why are they doing that? A big chunk of it is for Donald Trump. He was making major inroads in the black community. Black men shift slightly toward Trump in record numbers, polls show. Democrats have been losing black male support since 2008. How do you fight that? Well, how about racializing everything and try to depict the Republican Party or Trump supporters as racist? Donald Trump made the case directly, and when he did, it scared a lot of people on the left.
Look how much African-American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following. What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose?
It was a great point, and people of color responded. And ever since, it's been white supremacy this, white supremacy that. At any moment, they will try to exploit something and turn it into a moment of white supremacy. Remember earlier this year when those poor people were shot in Atlanta, in and near those massage facilities? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris to the rescue, complaining about white supremacy. Let's see. Why did they treat George Floyd as a head of state? His funeral, totally over the top. Why? You think politics may have been at play? Of course they were. Breonna Taylor, again, all in an election year. Breonna Taylor. It was a national event. It was a tragedy, to be sure. We still don't know all the facts. Do you sense a trend here? And right now, on 24/7 almost, some of the cable networks are covering the men involved in the allegedly in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. That is the new case du jour. Rittenhouse is winding down, so they got to get something else spun up. This is one guy shot by a couple of other guys. What happened? A pickup truck was involved. Is this really national news? Why would you make it national news? You know, if people on the right were evil, if people on the right wanted to create a divisive country just for the heck of it, they could. They could. Now, they won't, but they could. For instance, there has been some shocking anti-Asian violence carried out by people of color. You've seen it. I've seen it. You might find it on your cell phone. You might find it, I don't know, in the corner of the internet, but you really won't see it too much on the evening news, depending on the color of the perpetrator. Maybe you saw this, a famous football player, former football player by the name of Stacy, has a dispute with his girlfriend, and wow. Now, are you hearing about stories like this? Not really. Not really. How about this basketball player who was just shooting hoops with her friends and attacked? Why was she attacked? Did the color of her skin have something to do with it? Maybe. Was there a foul or something like that? But watch this.
Oh, my goodness.
Arguably, these are racial incidents, but they don't dominate the news. They don't dominate MSNBC. They hardly mention them at all. Why is that? Well, because people can't profit from it. The left can't profit from it. What do they profit from? Well, certain kinds of crimes, if police are involved, they can exploit it and they can make money off of it. That's why George Floyd became such a big thing. Look at how Al Sharpton, by the way, went to George Floyd's funeral. in a private jet. In a private jet. See, there's a lot of money flowing around. There are votes to be gained, and there's money to be made here. See, Black Lives Matter? Not really. See, the Black Lives Matter movement is interesting. It seems like Black Lives Matter only if the black life is taken by a white cop. If that's not the case, nobody really cares. Everybody seems to move on. And that's really a shame because black lives do matter. All lives matter. But they're only concerned about the ones that they can profit from politically and financially. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.